I've been watching every season of Seventh Heaven every day of my life. I can't get Jesse McCarthy out of my head. It's not alright, cause I'm a grown-ass man who likes this old TV show. But hey, that's just me. Don't you fucking judge. Whoa! Gonna have sex with this box set. Gonna have sex with this box set. Gonna put my peen in this box set. I can't fit my dick into the box set.
Man, first world problems, you know?
It sure is.
Not being able to fit your peen into a DVD box set
so
of
it's
Seventh
fucking
Heaven.
useless.
What was that, 12 discs?
It was
just tossed?
It was 20 discs.
Oh my god.
Some
the
repeats.
Whole box set of Seventh Heaven you just tossed out here. We could have sold that for like $50.
We couldn't have sold that for shit. With streaming, who wants Seventh Heaven to watch?
I know.
I don't want to watch Seventh Heaven. I just want the box set.
Sometimes I know
this is my fleshlight because I don't have a fucking robot anymore.
Yeah. Well, he did go on a little bit of a temper tantrum, and
he turned his mouth into a pencil sharpener and ate my hand.
That's what happened there. That's why that sunflower sprouted out of the nub where you were ring
because
finger.
of scumfuck and whatever the sunflowers were stuck all over my hands.
Oh, that's right. Fucking Scummy. Scumfuck Flower Boy came here last week. He gave us some sunflower seeds because he thought I liked them. They got stuck all over Greg's hands. Now he's got sunflower sprouting from his ring finger slot.
Yeah, well, where my ring finger would have been if my fingers weren't devoured.
Yeah, I know, which is, it's unfortunate, but I have to say, it's a really nice touch. Like, it makes you look very...
A nice touch, yes.
Yeah.
It looks so lovely by the rotundra.
And
our really... velvet carpet.
It ups the feng shui in here big time. So I just wanted to congratulate you on that.
Yeah,
and
congrats, Greg. You're one step away from becoming a houseplant.
Well, yeah, but houseplants have all kinds of good contributions. They increase oxygen flow. They improve mood.
Are you saying my only use is photosynthesis?
I mean, it could be another use, is what I mean. You know, another tool in the tool belt. It's always good. Always good to have reasons to be around. Hi. Thanks for joining us again. That's Greg. I'm Don. We are the Boxcar Buddies. We are here again. I was able to find this boxcar just actually at the Western Metro Yard. This has been there. This like yellowish. Also
boxcar.
Also burnt sienna colored, like a yellow brown. You know what I mean? It's a weird combo, but this has been sitting there with the graffiti on the back, with that sad bear's face on it, stretching.
Yeah,
why
is there like sad bears all over Chicago? Like,
I'm not sure.
I walk all over the city, north side and south side, and there's just there are bears on the walls,
and it's
I don't understand.
With like
what is it with Chicago and bears?
I couldn't tell you. Maybe it's rooted in fear. You know how like sometimes art can reflect disturbances deep down.
The last thing I'm expecting to attack me in Chicago is a bear.
Well, what about when Lance Briggs drove that car into the
I think that's a football reference, and I don't get it.
Oh, it is a football reference, and he was a Chicago Bear a while ago and got into some kind of car accident. Not a great guy.
Was he also a bear? Like, was he fuzzy, 6 feet tall, kind of chunky?
Yeah, and a furry dude. Yeah.
Oh, he was a furry?
He was a furry and a bear. Yes,
he would go to FurCon.
Yeah,
I know there's one in Rosemont that happens.
There is. There's also one up by the Bristol Renaissance Fair. I know that's a big hangout for furries.
Have you ever seen the two converge, the Renaissance Fair and FurCon, into one glorious Robin Hood Disney-esque fair?
No,
because that sounds amazing.
It does.
Actually.
It does sound pretty great. I don't know why people aren't doing that. If I was a furry, I'd want to combine my furry like lifestyle
with your fursuit and like jousting.
Yes, with as many activities as possible. You know, especially imagine being in your furry costume and riding a horse. Like actually like jousting.
Imagine being in a fursuit that is a horse on top of a horse.
Oh, so if I'm a furry, I'm a centaur.
No,
that's what I am.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
you're
a
double-headed horse.
Yes, that, and then I'm also like banging.
You're
some
the horstra.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, definitely.
And then when you cut off the horse's head, then 3 more grow out.
Oh, just like mythology. That'll happen. That will happen. But anyway, that's just him and I getting reacquainted. This is what we do week to week. One of us grabs a boxcar from somewhere. This week it was me. We take shelter. We decide to meet up. We communicate via Greg's List, this magical napkin that Greg writes on and blows around Chicago and that makes its way between the two of us. It's kind of how we communicate throughout the week. And then we'll decide on a place and time.
And thankfully, we got together this time.
Yes, we did, successfully. And anyway, this boxcar that we're in right now, yellowish, brownish, has the bear on the back end of this car, and the inside is lovely. It's kind of rounded walls like a home in the Shire, like a hobbit home.
It reminds me of, like, Grandma's house.
Yes, very much. There's crumbs of biscuits all throughout the corners, and it looks like many a tea party was had here, and I believe...
Whoa, check it out.
Oh.
Here's a tea kettle.
Oh, hell yes. And there's no holes in it or anything.
No, not that I see of. I can't really open it with 2 hands right now. Kind of
here.
A little nubby.
I know, I see. It's, let me get that for you.
Oh, thanks, guy. There we go.
Wait, oh, got some liquid in there.
What is it?
I don't know. That's clumpy. That is clumpy. But I am thirsty, so.
Oh, bottoms up.
Bottoms up.
How'd that taste?
Oh.
It looked like it had the consistency of gravy that had too much blood put into it as opposed to some flour.
I never like to chew my drinks. I never like to have to do that. And
you're not a fan of milkshakes? The DQ Blizzard?
I like those if I come upon them. That was more like DQ sewage. DQage. That was not... I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. Don't drink things that you find in a tea kettle in an abandoned boxcar.
I don't think people are stupid enough to do that, Don, but
I just want to put it... I'm sorry.
Please, I hope you don't do that anywhere near our microphone equipment. It's bad enough I lost a hand and a robot. I don't want us to lose our podcasting equipment.
I don't either. I don't want that either.
It's hard enough carting this stuff around. Listen, people, do you know what it's like to be homeless, to jump from boxcar to boxcar, and have to keep an eye on 2 microphones?
I know, and I'm really glad that you're the one that does that throughout the week, by the way. I don't think I've ever really properly thanked you for it, so I do appreciate it. I know it's got to be such a burden to have to not only worry about food and finding a place to sleep and staying ahead of the cops and all that stuff, but you also have to worry about our mics, the mixer, the computer.
This is something I wanted to talk to you about this week, Don.
What?
Because I don't think I am qualified to take care of the microphone equipment anymore.
What are you talking about?
I have too many enemies.
What?
And
they're frenemies. They're friends and enemies.
The only one I can consider a friend is Freak.
Yeah, you guys are great
Scumfuck,
friends. Scumfuck is totally my friend. He's no enemy of yours.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Well, I did want to talk about that in our week of things that we've consumed.
Yes, yeah.
Let me tell you. So, I spent a little time at the free clinic this week. Had to get my nub adjusted.
Yeah. Which they're great for, nub adjusting at the free clinic.
Yeah, they're very good. See, they bandaged the nub quite a bit, but then, surely enough, like 2 days later, little bean sprout pops up. A
little sprouted.
I'm like, what is this shit? So, I didn't know what to do at first. First, I went to Freak thinking that I was being possessed by some kind of, like, plant god again. And he said, no, there's nothing
not the
bad.
case.
It's just a sunflower.
Well,
so
I suppose that's comforting in a way, though, right? No possessing spirit.
So I thought that maybe if I just pull it out like a weed, it would go away.
Ooh, painful.
I think it's been conjoined to my nerves because every time I touch it,
ooh, I can see like the clenching up in your upper arm when you touch it like that.
I can also see the leaves like. It looks like the leaves have a heartbeat.
Here, why don't I'm gonna pluck one of these leaves. Oh, it's bleeding. Your sunflower is bleeding. Yeah, that's here. Go ahead and wrap that up. Here's the leaf. You can use the leaf. Just repurpose it. There you go. Dab it on there, and just wrap it around. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
So,
No,
I
that's
didn't really,
real. You're actually, that sunflower is connected to everything that's going on in your hand there.
Yeah, I guess I'm part flower now.
That's your ring finger from now on. You're going to have to start grabbing things with a sunflower.
So I didn't know really what to do. Like, I spent a couple days thinking about, like, maybe if I pulled on it extra hard, it would go away. Obviously, that's a bad choice now. But then I decided, all right, it's time for me to visit Scumfuck.
Oh, so you did pay him a visit.
I did.
So you went up to his, like, Aladdin perch. You climbed that one tower. Did you look out the window? Was it at night or during the day?
It was at night.
Okay, great.
Because I didn't really know what to do.
Well, and the view up at night is pretty sweet, isn't
gorgeous.
it? Yeah, I mean, he's got a nice
sky is
space.
a dark purple, and when you look over the city, it's this bright orange.
It's something.
It was really something, because I didn't know what to make of him, because the first thing he says to me is he outreached his hand to me. And he just said, "Do you trust me?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
did you?
At first, I was like, I don't know if I should, but you're my best option right now. I don't have very many things. Right. So, thankfully, Scumfuck let me into his home, and I've been hanging out with him for the last 4 days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he's been taking care of my nub.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's fascinated by it because, he's a botanist. He works on plants.
Totally.
So he thinks this is some kind of new plant life thingy. He didn't say exactly what he said. A bunch of like plant words.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't.
It's all Greek to you, right?
Please stop talking with your horrible over the sea.
I know.
Accent.
I know. He's hard. He's really hard to sort of get any read on. Oi, what's all this, dude? Oh, Scummy.
What's up, Scum?
Hey, how are you, bud? Yeah, we're all right. Greg, nice to see you. Don, what you been up to? We're just here in the Boxcar doing our show that we do once a week.
Hey, Scum.
Greg, what's up,
Donnie plucked on the leaf, and
what'd you do that for, man? That's gotta hurt, on it.
I'm bleeding.
No,
from the plant, dude.
No, right. Let me look at that right there.
Ah.
Oh my God. Do you know what that is there? No, neither of us have anything to do.
A plant connected to my blood?
That's exactly what that is. It's a phalange flower. A what?
I'm sorry, what about my phalange?
Yeah, dude, you're going to have to speak English if we're going to be continuing this whole thing. Yeah, all right. Settle down there, mate.
No, he means English, not Cockney.
Yeah, well, I don't have an option there, do I? I'm not as well-spoken as you two flowery language fucks from this side of the Atlantic, from this side of the drink. You all got something more to say about me, or you want me to give you a diagnosis on your flower finger?
Give me a diagnosis. I'm sorry.
Geez, sorry, buddy. I didn't know you were so upset by our making fun. Yeah, well, I heard how you treated Master Churchill a few weeks ago with the ghost on him, and you know what? He's a nice man. I really cherished that boy, and when I found out he was a ghost and you treated him like you did, I was disgusted.
I've already apologized, man.
Yeah, we're done with it.
Entire week was, man.
I can't even imagine. This must have sucked.
Well, what are you saying over there?
Just nothing. Thank you for coming. What do you have to say about the flower finger?
Well, the reason that this is happening here is because the roots of the plant have fused with your bone marrow and nerves. So what's happening now is the flower's growing to full length. It's going to get longer, about twice as long as your fingers, and then you're going to start grabbing at things with the sunflower as your phalange. So you can do things like stir some soup maybe.
What?
Why would I stir soup with a flower?
Well, just give it a bit of a plant taste to put some nutrients in there. It's going to be bleeding plant food.
What are you bleeding plant food? What are you talking about?
I'm bleeding people blood. Is what I'm bleeding.
He really is, and that's why we're concerned.
Yeah, well, go ahead and wrap it back up there. Right. I'm all done looking at it, but I'll tell you, it's really something. What you got there is a rarity, and I'm gonna have to, go ahead and examine that a little bit closer. Maybe later on, when you're done with this rubbish here, you can come back to my place.
Yeah, I'll do that after we're done recording. Thanks, Scum.
Okay, great. Hey, nice to see you. Brought some sunflower seeds again for you, boys. There they are, and off I go. See you later, mates.
The last thing I want to see is fucking sunflower seeds, man.
I know. I don't. Hey, thank you though, Scum. Thank you very much. Close the door if you don't mind.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, sorry about that. I am gonna have a few of these sunflower seeds.
For whatever reason, I can't explain it, but you eating the sunflower seeds,
Yeah.
makes me feel very offended, and
Really?
I don't know why.
Maybe it has something to do with that growth.
With the sprout,
You feel like you're empathizing with flowers more.
I think it might be because I'm now part sunflower.
Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that you are hearing any tiny voices when you're like walking over grass, or maybe like hearing some branches blow in the wind or anything like that?
Sometimes, I just thought that's just me.
Yeah, because you have voices that just pop up in there, which is legitimate, but I'm thinking maybe it's tied to your new appendage there.
What, are you saying I'm becoming like one with nature now?
Yeah.
It's so lame.
Hey. I mean, I gotta
It's
say,
the
maybe
lamest
it's
thing
cool.
that anyone could ever say. Like, I can talk to the plants.
Well, maybe they got some good stuff to say.
I can't imagine. I
wish
can't
I
imagine
could do
anything
it.
more than, wow, the wind sure was breezy today, wasn't it, blade of grass? It sure was, big piece of stick.
Maybe it's more than that. Maybe there's drama. Maybe there are plant families, and there's plant dads cheating on their
into a
plants.
middle finger and offended my entire blade of grass family.
Yeah. Okay, maybe it's weird. I don't know. But hey, anyway, again, another weird gift from one of our interesting character friends, which is what happens here on the Boxcar, just in case this is your first time joining us. Sometimes people come in and out of here, and we really can't control it. We don't know who's coming in or out. Sometimes they're our friends. Sometimes they're weird. Sometimes they're just
Sometimes
weird.
there are people trying to kill us.
Absolutely, which we deal with. I think a pig came in here at one point, which we both ate.
We sure did.
But anyway,
and then it got really weird. We kind of bit each other for like 2 days.
yeah, well, I mean, I know that you smelled like pig for a few days after that, so I was just, every morning I woke up and I was starving, and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna chomp on some pig. And then it was my buddy Greg, and I was like, shit!
Like, damn it.
But
and I can't help it, but every single time that someone bites me, I have a reflex that causes me to bite back.
yeah, you do. It's
like a dog.
Yeah, you're a backbiter, definitely. But anyway, the other thing Greg and I do is when we're in a boxcar like this, as we are now, we'll talk about some content that one or both of us has managed to get our hands on, our eyes on, our ears on, one of those things over the course of the week. And I know, Greg, that you've got something that you have been dying to gush about.
Oh, yeah. This isn't what I want to gush about.
Oh.
This is, well, I mean, like, in a good way.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's more like a bad way.
Oh,
so,
okay.
When I was at Scummy's, he has this whole Blu-ray collection. Like, it's amazing.
I know. And he has those SAG screeners. He's got some
he's got some
connections.
leeway. He's got
Definitely.
something. He's got someone on his side.
Definitely.
But I'm perusing through his DVD collection, and I came across a movie called Don't Think Twice.
Don't Think Twice. Okay.
This is a 2016 comedy directed and written by my favorite stand-up comedian, Mike Birbiglia.
Ah, okay. Birbigs.
The Biggies.
Yeah.
Hey. For those who have not heard about this movie, Don't Think Twice is about a comedy troupe in New York. They're an improv group, and one of the members goes on to join the quote-unquote totally not Saturday Night Live, but Weekend Live.
So it is Saturday SNL, but in the movie, they're just not.
They have jokes about SNL, but it's more of a drama because it's about a group of comedians with their troupe failing. The theater that they constantly perform at is going under, and every single one of the characters is starting to feel a little less funny, or they're feeling vulnerable. And the setup for the movie, I think, is fantastic, but like the ending is so bad.
Oh,
it's
man.
so bad.
You know, I'll tell you, a bad ending, I think, is just about the worst thing that any content can have.
It's like it's not even so like, it's more than just a bad ending. It's like a cop-out ending.
Ah, I see.
So the main plot is so it's got an all-star cast of comedians.
Nice.
I think I brought the DVD case with me. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So it's got Keegan-Michael Key, Jillian Jacobs, Mike Birbiglia, Kate Micucci, Chris Geddard, and Tammy Sager.
Oh, man. Tammy Sager. Great.
These are huge comedians.
Absolutely.
And the main focus is on Keegan-Michael Key, Jillian Jacobs, and Mike Birbiglia. Tammy Sager and Geddard and Matucci barely do anything in this movie.
Oh,
and I was like, why?
That's a bummer.
There's such talented comedians.
Right. Why wouldn't you use them?
Like Tammy Sager's character, I just fucking hated.
Really?
I fucking hated her character.
What was so bad about it?
So her character, like, it's less of like me hating her like as a whole. It's like it's hating her because I know people like this, because I've done improv troupes and I've done the comedy scene and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And it's this type of like, she has no problems. Like, she has nothing in her way of getting to her dream gig. And she acts like the world is against her.
I see.
And she's used so poorly in the movie. So, like they set her up saying that she lives with her parents practically, and her parents are fucking millionaires. They're rich as shit. She doesn't have to do anything.
Right.
And every single time we see her in like a group setting or by herself, she's just smoking weed and then doing really nothing.
Uh-huh.
And she ends up getting this writing gig with The Weekend Live.
Okay.
And I'm like, I fucking hate that.
Right. Okay, but you hate it because you actually know people
because I know
like
people
that.
like that. But she's also very poorly used in this movie because again, she's one of the three characters that has barely any scene time. Chris Geddard's character, he has amazing lines and he has amazing jokes. But the whole movie is about like his dad dying.
Ew.
And they just use that as an element of, this is why I can't show up to shows. My dad's dead.
I see.
And then
My dad's dead.
Poor fucking Kate Micucci. I always mess up her last name.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, for those who don't know her, she's the second half of Garfunkel and Oates comedy band.
Right.
And she does a ton of voiceover stuff. You would recognize her immediately after you see it. Like,
Yeah,
her face.
yeah, definitely.
She doesn't do anything. She does fucking nothing. Her whole character is, she has this comic idea that she's been working on for years, and she does nothing with it.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of the movie, someone says, "You've been working on that fucking comic for 9 years." And that's as much character growth she gets.
Oh, Jesus.
So
I understand your point, and just because people can't see this DVD cover, all 6 of the names that Greg just mentioned, they're all featured on the cover here.
yeah, it's supposed to be an ensemble movie. It's
Yes.
about a comedy troupe falling out.
Right.
What their fallout is.
And yet it sounds to me like half of these people
Half of
they
them
show
get
on the
shafted.
cast. Yeah, and they're not used in the movie. So I understand it's misleading to
Yeah.
make you think that you're going to get sort of equal showing of all these characters and only 3 of them are like the majority of what the movie's going on with.
But with the 3 main leads, who are Mike Birbiglia, Jillian Jacobs, and Keegan-Michael Key, they feel a little bit more fleshed out, but at the same time, just like really unlikable characters. So Mike Birbiglia's character he's a comedy improv teacher, kind of like a Second City teacher.
Sure.
Who's been doing teaching for years, and he's been trying super, super hard to get onto SNL, and he keeps failing. But at the same time, him as a character, he's like this mid-30s gross dude living in an apartment with 6 other people. He still sleeps on like an air mattress, and he constantly brings over like his 19-year-old students to bang them.
Nice.
I'm like, ugh.
Scum.
There's nothing
Scum.
There's nothing likable about that.
Right, you're not rooting for that guy.
And then Jillian Jacobs and Keegan-Michael Key are in a relationship with each other. Jillian Jacobs' character is about like, she wants to do comedy, but she doesn't know what she wants to do. I think her character arc is actually done really well, because it becomes about her teaching improv, and she thinks that's like her true calling. And Keegan-Michael Key gets invited to become a cast member for SNL, and it's about like him getting into the fame lifestyle and turning down his friends, and people in the industry telling him to fuck off and not bring any friends onto the show.
Right.
If he ever brings that up with somebody, that he'll get destroyed. And it's like an hour and a half of building up to the breaking point of all 6 of them just going like, fuck you!
Right.
To every single one of them.
Yeah.
And then it does the black screen 8 months later.
Oh, Jesus.
And everything's fine.
Oh, so they cut over the catharsis is what you're saying.
They cut over the catharsis. They cut over them getting back together, forgiving each other.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, this is what they're doing now. Mike Birbiglia's in a serious relationship, and he adopted a kid with his girlfriend. Jillian Jacobs is a fucking full-on improv teacher. Keegan-Michael Key writes for SNL.
So it worked. You're saying it works out for all the characters.
It works out for all the characters.
But the movie glosses over the climax of the drama, which is the ultimate fallout.
Whole movie fucking building up the conflict.
Yeah.
And it takes fucking forever for anything to happen. I really like this setup. It was super relatable to me being in like this, having been in this theater lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like that lifestyle because it's so cancerous sometimes.
Yeah.
Where people can be really shitty to each other. And it's just fucking glossed over.
I know. No. You're robbed of your payoff. The thing that you invested all that time, you getting into these characters and learning their stories, that climax, which is what in a drama, the climax is the argument of the characters, like airing it all out, all the grievances and screaming at each other and fucking really fighting it out. Then you can see the 8 months later in the resolution, and then you're like, oh, okay, great. Like, you're happy for everybody. But you saw how deep down they all sunk.
Yep.
And to not see that climax, I mean, that sucks, man. What a fucking waste.
Especially with Tammy Sager's character, because she doesn't truly have any problems.
Yeah, right.
Like, because her parents are helping pay for her to have the comedy lifestyle, she doesn't have to worry about money and shit like Mike Birbiglia and the rest of the other characters.
Right.
And then she gets the job at Weekend Live, and that's it. Her big ending thing, what I would have really liked is that they really stepped it in, because she goes up to Mike's character and says, some people have it, some people don't. You don't. You need to quit.
Yeah.
You need to quit trying because you're not that good. And I'm like, that's such a real moment. That's such a real thing to end the movie on. And I was kind of like, okay, this is where we're going to end it on. It's a bleak note.
Right.
It's interesting to see.
Not inspiring in any way.
No, not inspiring. There's nothing wrong with being not inspiring if it's done well.
Yeah,
if you add a bleak element to it, it can make your movie, like, it can add a new element to your movie, make it different. But with this fucking title card of 8 months later, and they're all hanging out together, like, fuck off, movie.
Yeah, right. No, I know. That's really bothersome.
I'm so fucking disappointed because, like I said, Mike Birbiglia is my favorite stand-up comedian.
Yeah, and so I'm sure you just had high expectations for the movie, but it sounds like
I think I had too high expectations. I was expecting a little bit more than what I was given.
Well, that's a bummer, bro. The movie,
it's a fucking bummer.
The movie is Don't Think Twice, and I would not
think twice.
Don't think twice about
watching this.
Don't think twice about disregarding the movie. It's don't view it. So that's what it sounds like from
disappointing.
Greg. I'm not going to watch it.
Watch Birbiglia's other movie, Sleepwalk with Me. That's a really good movie.
Oh, okay, great.
That's about his sleepwalk. His sleepwalk.
Great. Okay, cool.
He sweeps when he walks. His feet are made of brooms.
Whoa. Well,
here he comes.
Oh, broom feet.
I'm just gonna clean up this stage.
Well, get off the stage. You'll never make it, broom feet.
Oh, I try real hard though.
You keep tap dancing and all you do is scatter dust everywhere in everyone's face.
Wait, please, check this out. Watch. 23, 22.
Stop it!
Here's a little shimmy. How about the Macarena?
Oh, there's like animal bones in that pile. Cut it out. All right. Anyway, well, that sounds really sad. I'm sorry that you wasted time investing anything into that.
It was a fucking disappointment. I feel bad for Scummy because I kept screaming at the TV. I'm like, why? Why does this suck? Why does this movie suck?
Yeah, and he's probably just planting, in his greenhouse, up there, like just disregarding.
He just kept rolling his eyes at me. He's watering his plants and shit.
He's kind of zen. He's got his own zen thing going on. But anyway, speaking of some good movies that speaking of movies, but I saw a good one this past week. I was in the library and they had this. It was a library of a suburb, so I was, I hopped on a metro train. I made it out to somewhere. Morton Grove, I think, was the one, and I got to some library in there, and it was on an evening. And 2 nights out of the week, it turns out the Morton Grove Library shows movies on like a projector screen, and in this case,
how old school?
Oh, I know,
80s,
and many of the other people that were in the audience were in their 80s. It was elderly folks and me, definitely, watching this thing. But the movie that they were showing was The Disaster Artist, and it's the movie that is, it was nominated for awards this year.
It's the biopic about Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sesteros
and making The Room, exactly. And The Room is this cult classic CD movie, which is
it's called, quote unquote, the greatest bad movie ever created.
Exactly. The kind of movie that you watch and you love because of how wrong it gets making the movie. Because
you like the movie for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
How bad the delivery is.
The train wreck of acting, the bad accents, Tommy Wiseau's famously bad, unplaceable accent. It's like, and anyway,
we still don't know how old he is.
Nobody knows how old he is.
We still don't know where he's from.
Right. But, so anyway, we'll get into some background of Tommy Wiseau afterward, but I will say The Disaster Artist, which features James and Dave Franco. James plays Tommy Wiseau. Dave Franco plays Greg. There's a lot of other cameos in it.
He doesn't play me.
He doesn't play you. He plays the other Greg guy from The Room.
Oh, that one's the shitty Greg.
What was that guy's last name? I don't know.
Sestero.
What's up, Sestero? I don't know. It seems like a cool high school guy name. But anyway, it was, so I have to say, I really enjoyed it. The Disaster Artist. I've seen The Room. I saw it many years ago. I did love it for how bad it was. I did not expect much from The Disaster Artist. When they started promoting it, I wondered how good a movie about the making of another terrible movie could possibly be. How could you make it without poking fun at Tommy Wiseau constantly? How could you do it and not be mean to the guy who orchestrated the whole thing?
Yeah.
But I have to say, I felt that they succeeded in doing that. James Franco's portrayal of Tommy Wiseau, I thought, was probably some of the best acting I've seen James Franco do. The fact that he could do...
Which is saying a lot.
It really is.
Because he's not great of an actor.
I know. And he made Tommy Wiseau out to be a sympathetic character, which I really think, from what I've heard about him in real life, it's hard to be sympathetic for him. He's rich,
he's rich beyond belief, and also he is a toxic asshole to work with.
Yes, exactly. So he's not a sympathetic character, but Franco made him someone that you felt for, and the struggle of the relationship of him and Greg and how that plays out through the movie. And Greg, played by Dave Franco as James's brother, I mean, it was such a brotherly relationship too. It was so cool. And I know during the Golden Globes, at least, I know that both Francos were on stage at once accepting the award, and I mean, what a great moment to be able to kind of have that with a brother and stuff. Yeah, come on over here, bro. Yeah, and then they just noogie on stage and just start making.
And it goes on
stuff
for 2 hours.
Yeah,
and George Clooney gets really, really upset by it.
Get off the stage!
You see Brad Pitt in the corner, kind of wincing and getting lower and lower into his seat.
Leo DiCaprio just staring, and his frown grows deeper and deeper.
And then Don Cheadle is smiling and nodding.
The Jack Nicholson, smile and nod, oh, yeah.
While Jack Nicholson is sitting next to him doing the same exact thing.
But slower, because he's an old man.
Yeah. You hear a lot of bone crunching when he does it. It's like opening a Pez dispenser.
And his teeth just shoot forward. But yeah. So anyway, I really know, I don't know what, Greg, did you see The Disaster
I did
Artist?
see this movie. I saw it back in December. I think I think it was okay. I didn't think it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought James Franco's performance was pretty on the nose.
If nothing else, it's a tough accent to do, and I
but
think
he nails it.
He did a really good job.
He nails Wiseau the best he can from the stories. I think the most upsetting thing with this movie is that the book that Greg Sestero wrote, which is what
The Disaster Artist is based off, yeah.
Like, they tried to make Greg more of a sympathetic, like, I need to help this guy out. Have you read the book?
No.
Greg Sestero is a parasitic piece of shit.
Really?
That's the relationship between Greg and Tommy Wiseau, is that Greg was very, very parasitic. He was fresh out of high school. He's trying to do acting. It's not going well.
Right.
And then here comes this fucking millionaire.
Yeah.
Who seems so dumb.
Yeah.
And unaware that Greg used him a lot. Like, what with his, like, the apartment. Like,
yes.
There's a scene in the movie where Tommy shows their new apartment that they moved into, and Tommy gives the bedroom to Greg.
Right.
In the book, Greg really took advantage of having a bedroom.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, like, left out of the movie. There's a lot of moments of just Greg being really shitty to get money and to get fame. Because, like, there's a scene later in the movie with a cameo from Bryan Cranston, and he invites him to come on to Malcolm in the Middle.
Right.
That didn't happen.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Well, I didn't necessarily think that was accurate or whatever, but it's interesting that you're telling me this about the book. I didn't know it was based off a book or anything, but I will say that it all, just from what you just told me, I know that there is a big difference between the two, because one of the things that the movie left me with in terms of, like, an impression was that it made it seem like Tommy and Greg used each other equally. Yes. Where obviously Greg was getting stuff out of Tommy, the apartment, launching his own acting career, the funding to be able to do this stuff. And yeah, the guy who made The Room, which launched, Greg's career. And the thing is that launched his career into occult, status.
It launched, it's like...
Right. So it launched him into nothing, launched him into mediocrity, I guess. But point is that what I got from the movie too, though, is that it made it clear that Tommy had no hope of making it himself. They made Tommy a sad character in the fact that, like imagine an unfunny clown, someone who wants desperately to be a clown, but like has
so you're saying
no
that Tommy
humor.
Wiseau is like Pagliacci or something?
Yes, exactly. He's a guy that really wanted nothing more than to be a star, a movie star, but he could never get an acting gig because his accent was atrocious and because
his
he can't
acting
act.
was atrocious.
Yeah, everything about it was terrible. So he had no hope of ever becoming a star. And then he meets this guy Greg, who's got the good looks and the acting ability. So then Tommy hitches to him, and they together make The Room and whatever. That's the impression that the movie left me with. And it sounds to me like the book is very different.
The book is very different because also with the reveal of going to the premiere of The Room, I kind of wished that it ended with The Room, like the whole audience being silent, because that's what happened.
Oh yeah, of course. I know the whole notion of them laughing.
But they had to end it on this happy note of look,
your
movie's so bad that it's good.
That's exactly what I mean, though. If they had been true to what actually happened, that puts Wiseau out as this punching bag. That makes him this idiot character that all you're doing is making fun of him and laughing at him throughout the entire movie. The impression that even if it was inaccurate, what the movie wanted to leave you with was, look, you might not have had the fandom that you dreamt about, but they still love your movie, but for different reasons. And like, I enjoy that sentiment just simply because I do think, life and happiness has a lot to do with perspective.
Yeah.
Something happens to you, you can take it many different ways, but the difference between happy people and unhappy people is that happy people make a choice to try and focus on the positive and be optimistic about things. And I think that in the case of Wiseau in the room, you can either gripe about it, go away and disappear under the rug of history and let everybody kind of laugh at you, or you can go on tour with the thing and make yourself a big part of the disaster artist, which is exactly what Tommy Wiseau did.
Exploit it.
Yes.
That's exactly what he did.
Yes.
And I don't know, like
I don't hate him for that. I think
No,
dude,
I don't either.
You can do it.
I'm just indifferent with this movie. There are parts of it I really like, and then other parts I'm like, eh.
Yeah, it wasn't. It definitely isn't a movie that was like, it's not a Chris Nolan movie. It's not gonna like make you think. It's not real heady. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice bromance kind of a movie, and I actually like I enjoy the ensemble of Judd Apatow, James Franco, Seth Rogen. When they do stuff together, I tend to like those because you just get the sense that no matter what's going on, like that they got to be having a great time on set.
Yeah, that's true,
and that translates.
That very much does, especially when they did the recreations of scenes.
Yes, I
like
love
that
over the
stuff
credits.
is great.
Over
Yeah.
the credits in The Disaster Artist, they show you a side by side of scenes from The Room and the reenactments from actors in The Disaster Artist, and it's great.
And that's all people really wanted to see.
Yeah, and it's excellent. It really shows you because it's like, especially with Franco, it's like it shows you that. But not just him, all of them. I think they really nailed. I mean, not just like the acting and the mannerisms, the inflections, the timing. I mean, there's a lot.
They're pretty like note for note.
Yes,
which is really cool. But overall, like you give it a recommendation, right?
Yeah, I think it's enjoyable and I think it's worth a watch. I do.
I think it's worth watching at least once just to figure it out.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm like, I don't need to see this again.
Never.
I can see The Room again.
Yes, definitely. And I would say that too. And the question as to whether you need to see The Room to enjoy the movie, I think the answer to that is no. I think you can enjoy this movie without having seen The Room. I think it helps. I think it adds a lot
I'm
to
going
do
to
that.
disagree on that because I think a lot of the humor and a lot of like the moments in the movie really rely on you having seen The Room.
I thought that going into the movie, but I've spoken to people who didn't see The Room, and they got a lot of enjoyment out of The Disaster Artist. So I do think that it's viewable and enjoyable without having seen it. I can't say it for sure because I did see it, The Room that is, and I enjoyed The Disaster Artist, but from what I've heard, you don't need to in order to enjoy The Disaster Artist. But
to each their own.
yes, tete-a-tete, whatever. Fuck all that.
Tit for tat, tic-tac.
Uh-huh.
Paddywhack, give a dog a bone.
I haven't given a dog a bone in my whole life, I don't think.
I hope someone gives me a bone.
Yeah. Throw you a little bone?
Like 5 that I can put in where my hand used to be.
At least, yeah, definitely. You do need some finger bones for sure if you want to keep doing stuff. But well, we can figure that out another time. The last thing that I want to talk about this week, Greg, is about something that we've both seen.
Oh yes,
It's an anime
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
Called Devilman Crybaby.
man, human.
Da-da-da. Dude, it is... I think we both agree that this anime, just like a lot of Netflix's original animes, knocks it out of the park. This show is absolutely worth watching. It's very adult themed.
A very adult theme. This is
Very much.
This is probably the most adult anime I've seen that is not porn.
Yes, exactly. And that it's not just the elements of sex that are part of this. It's not just the elements of violence.
It's humanity.
It's both. It's all of that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of adult themes in this. And then the way that it, we won't spoil anything, but the way that it ends is on a very unexpectedly grim and dark note too, in a very adult fashion.
So, well, with the history of Devilman, have you ever seen the original or even heard of it before?
Have not.
This is a very old manga. This is from like the 70s. This helped spawn 80s anime.
Oh, okay.
This gave inspiration for Berserk and Evangelion. Have you ever heard of those two animes?
Haven't.
Both of them are amazing. I can easily recommend them, loyal listeners. Don't watch new Berserk, watch old Berserk. Evangelion, you can watch whatever one you want.
Are these movies or shows?
Both.
Okay.
But Berserk is really cool. It's very Dark Souls. It's what inspired Dark Souls.
Interesting.
Very bloody, very gory, sad, depressing.
Yeah.
but this is like one of the most influential mangas / animes from like animation history.
So Devilman is a staple of anime from 30, 40 years ago. And
but
this Crybaby is like a spin-off of that original concept.
It's almost beat for beat the manga, because this is the first time, Crybaby is the first time that they actually put in the true ending from the manga.
Interesting.
Because I know they did Devilman animes in the 80s, and it just ended very awkwardly.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the very sad, like, this is what defines Devilman scenes are there, but then they kind of merged into something else.
I see, sure. So they wanted to take the ending in a different direction.
They did. They wanted to add a little bit more hope to it than what the true story is, which is very sad and bleak.
Despair. It's despair at the end of Devilman Crybaby. It's disparaging for sure.
But oh my god, I fucking loved this.
Me too.
This is one of the best anime I've watched in years.
The style of it, the story is, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, you telling me about the manga, because the story is the crux and the spine of what really drives you through it.
Yeah.
But the timing, the humor, the voice acting as usual, the animation style, all help and lend themselves to the storytelling, and it is just a great ride that's totally worth going on. It is, I think, 10 episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
It's 10 episodes. Each of them are about 20-25 minutes.
Typical Netflix season of anime, and so you can burn through it in like a day, and it's easy to do that. It really does. Just in that first episode, the inciting incident happens, you are hooked, and it's easy to just burn through all the episodes after that. And I would recommend it. I had a lot of fun watching the series. It kept taking turns and going in directions I didn't expect it to. The fights were excellent and insanely brutal. The character interactions, the story,
the characters
points
are fantastic.
Yes,
and it's so cool to see that these characters are kind of timeless.
Yeah,
given the fact that like they upgraded the story so that you could actually have like modern technology, because it's very much this is the future. We've got cell phones and TVs, and we can send messages. We got Twitter.
Right,
we have a version of Twitter on this.
Yes,
that plays a very big plot element. But overall, I think this anime is fantastic. There's a lot of moments in it too that I think are great. I really love the style to it. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the director's name, but he's an up and coming director, and I can't wait for more things to see from him.
Yeah,
because he's only done like short forms of like he's been on like these collaboration anime movies. I can't remember the exact names of them.
Yeah,
but now that you've seen Devilman, I feel like if you watch that movie, you would very much be like, "Oh, that's him."
It's a style. It's a recognizable style, kind of like we were mentioning with Guillermo del Toro and his movies. The guy has a certain, like, I haven't seen anything else that this anime director has done, but just from Devilman Crybaby, it's clear that he has a very unique style. Interesting use of colors, splashing images, like a lot of a very specific style, and he distinguishes himself with that, if nothing else. So I give it, it's definitely worth watching. I mean, 10 out of 10, I guess, if you want to put a numerical value on it. I thought it was worth every second that I was spent like watching the show.
I think my only gripe about it is that there are a lot of action sequences that are done in dark places, but the show would play with colors to showcase exactly what's happening. The best example of that is the first episode. Mm-hmm. They go to this like rave party, so it's full of colors, and it really helps stylize the action. Whereas later on, it's like 5 or 6 episodes in, they're fighting, like Devilman is fighting with someone in the dark, and you can barely make out sometimes. I couldn't tell if it was from Scummy's TV or if it was from the anime itself.
Right.
But I felt like upping the brightness. I'm like, I can't.
I know what you mean. I
can't see a whole lot of what's happening.
Right. Did Scummy get pissed when you were messing with his TV?
Yeah, because he was like, "Why did you put it back?" And I was like, "Why did you put it back?"
Oh, you made fun of him? Yeah, it's hard really not to. It's hard not to, yeah.
He's been chasing me with garden shears.
Really? Really doesn't like you around there.
I think he's only fascinated by my hand.
Yeah,
not much else.
now you can probably get away with going back over there now that he's seen the hand and everything. He seemed very interested in that earlier.
Yeah, I don't think he really cared about the apology that I gave him either.
Probably not. No, he seemed fired up when he got over here, but he still brought the sunflower seeds. So that was cool.
That's cool. But anyway, yeah, Devilman, Crybaby, easy recommendation.
Yeah, definitely check that out. It's worth it.
It's sad. It's depressing.
It is.
It's those bleak 80s styled animes.
But not without moments of levity, not without a real roller coaster of like hope and emotion throughout the series. It just kind of goes way down toward the end. And
it gets really down there.
Yeah.
There's not much uplifting by the ending.
No.
You're sad.
It's brutal. But totally worth the watch. Check it out if you're so inclined to watch some anime. Netflix, again, really, their original content varies in quality, but I have to say their anime shows, for the most part, have been really, really stellar stuff. I mean, from... what was that? The Seven Deadly Sins, Sinbad, Sinbad. Yes, there's the Netflix version of Sinbad.
I didn't know he was doing stand up again.
Yeah, he's what are you going to do? You can't keep him down. The residual
he decides to go to our friends in the East and
the residual checks from what's that? Jingle All the Way. Those can't just keep on filling the bank statements forever. Man's got to get back on stage. He's got to be spinning some jokes for the people. I guess that's what he's doing now. But anyway, yeah, check that out. All of Netflix's stuff is anime-wise is pretty solid. But Greg, I got to eat some of these sunflower seeds. I kind of want to go back to Scummy's place with you, and maybe we can watch some stuff over there together.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe we can strike a deal.
He's got a TV.
I know.
And I got to tell you, man, like, his place is warm.
His place is pretty cool.
Warm.
I like that a lot.
He's got a working toilet.
No.
I didn't want to show you earlier with him around, but...
Yeah. But, I'll tell you...
Don, I took a shower.
Oh, my God.
I didn't know my hair was this bright before.
No, it's a totally different color, and it's all feathery.
Yeah, man.
Look at that.
It's got a coif.
Look at your coiffed. Look at that coif. Dude.
We should go back to Scummy's, because I could really use another shower.
Dude, I want to fucking have some Belgian quaffles right now, man. That's delicious.
Don't ask for blue waffles, though. Those are bad.
I've heard. And I'll tell you, the only thing... I like Scummy's place so much, I don't even mind when he picks up his doodle sack and starts blowing on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. He does it every night.
I know.
And he gets really into it. Like, he's flexible.
Oh, I know.
He gets in deep.
I know. And I know, so you're probably, some people might be saying, oh, what's a doodle sack? Some people say bagpipe. I know that's definitely like more what it's known as, but I like calling it a doodle sack. It's fun. He's getting better at it.
You've gotten me to say it a bunch of times.
He's getting better at it. He's getting better at playing it, and I think one day people might actually be able to stand being around a performance of it. But it's either way. For right now, it's definitely worth the cost of admission for you and I to get in there. So hey, why don't we wrap it up here? I'm gonna grab these sunflower seeds.
Let's pack this shit up,
and we're gonna go over to Scummy's right now. But again, just recapping. We don't think twice. Don't watch it. Disaster Artist. Greg and I sort of vary on our takes on it, but I thought it was okay.
It's worth giving a watch.
Yeah, and Devilman Crybaby, definitely worth watching. Gotta check that one out. But
shit.
But yeah, we're gonna get on out of here. Thank you again for listening. As always, we appreciate it. We will talk to you next week. In the meantime, if you want to reach us, boxcarbuddyspodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter and Facebook at Boxcar Buddies, and reach out to us if you're not subscribed
yet. If you pass Greg's list, feel free to write on it. We'll read your questions.
Keep an eye on blowing napkins around the streets. If one of them blows across your path, grab it, write a little note on there, and then just throw it back to the wind. It might make it way back to us. If not, though, please let your friends know about Boxcar Buddies. If you're not already subscribed, give us a subscribe on iTunes, Google Play. This is free. Give us a like, maybe rate us. Let us know what you're thinking, because we could really appreciate some feedback. But either way, we're glad to have you, and thanks again. We'll talk next week. Greg, let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's get the fuck out of here. We're
All
going
right.
to Scummies.
Let's go.
All right, let's grab the shit.
Yeah, and the sunflower seeds. Come on. Come on.
No, you can leave those. He's got plenty.
Oh, but I want them. I want them for the trip over.
No, you leave them here.
I want them for the trip over.
Don't
Greg.
eat my children.
Jesus, man. Fine, I'll leave them. Who are you? You don't even have kids. What are you talking about?
They came from my hand, okay?
Little flowers? Little sunflowers?
Sunflower seeds. I've been making them.
Really?
They keep flying out of my fingers.
Oh, God.
Watch.
They're pouring out of there.
Look.
Oh, look at all that. Look at them raining down. That's so gross. What are you doing? Can't you plug that up?
No.
Can you stop? Please, no, plug it up now. It's still, they're raining sunflowers out. Yeah, wrap that tightly. Oh, now it's kind of bulging in your wrist there. That's a lot of sunflower seeds. Oh, you're bursting.
Oh, no.
You're gonna burst.
Oh, no.
Oh, sunflower seeds, no! I don't want them! I don't want them anymore!
Yeah, that's what you get. These are unsalted, too.
I didn't want them! I didn't